Hello, my name is Rob Infantino. I'm a founder and CEO of Openbay. So just a quick show of hands, how many people in the audience own a car or a truck or a minivan? All right, great, awesome. And for those of you who don't own a car, I would appreciate you telling them about Openbay when you get a chance. So a few years ago, I own a 14-year-old BMW that needs repair from time to time. So I brought it into a dealership and I expected a simple service. I was going to get a wheel alignment, and then 10 to 15 minutes later, I get a 12-page document handed to me with about $12,000. Sorry, 12-page document with about $4,000 in repairs that needed on the car. So I'm very familiar with vehicles, and I said, "This is crazy. This is nonsense." And I started looking around on the web to see if there's any place where I could get competitive pricing for repairs on a car. Turns out there wasn't. This was a few years back. And then I started asking around to other friends and family. They have pain points around car repair. Turns out people view mechanics as untrustworthy. They feel like they get taken advantage of. So I started a company called Openbay, and I went out to solve that problem about getting people car repaired by trustworthy mechanics. And for those of you who are not familiar with Openbay, we're a two-sided marketplace with a single vertical focus, which is auto repair. We focus on mechanical repair of a vehicle, not collision. So our goal is really to connect consumers in need of repair, so it could be a specific repair, or it could be a problem that they're having, and then it connects them with providers. A provider could be a franchise dealership, it could be a independent shop, it could be a national chain like a Firestone or Meineke, or it could be a mobile mechanic. So what I'm going to show you is a demo of the product. And I've showed a couple cars here. This is our mobile app. It's available on iOS, Android, and web. So this is a Toyota, and there's a whole bunch of choices here. So you can choose a specific service, maintenance schedule, and as you can see, if we pull up maintenance on this vehicle, here. So here's an example of a synthetic oil change. I'm not getting a wireless signal here. Sorry, hang on a second. Let me turn off. Okay, so let's start over again. So we're going to get a simple service, oil service, synthetic. And we show you a range of pricing, what the fair price is for an oil change, $72 to $88. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to submit this request to local shops in your area. What it's doing now, it's setting up the request, it's going out to local shops, it's getting quotes from these shops, and it's going to respond with quotes. And these are binding quotes. It shows you parts, labor, taxes. And you basically select a shop based on your needs. It could be pricing, ratings and reviews, it could be distance. So in this particular case, we show a bunch of different quotes. We sort them by price, anywhere from $42 up to $72. We can show distance. Here's 0.8 of a mile all the way up to almost 3.5 miles. If we drill into the map, we can drill into a specific provider that's nearby. We can look at their ratings and reviews. And then the goal for us is really to find a trustworthy mechanic on the product. So, here, sorry, doing two things with one hand. So let's pick this provider. I'm going to schedule this service, and I want to have it done tomorrow. Let's see, actually 7 a.m. And I hit next, and what it's going to do is going to ask me for payment. I'll choose Apple Pay. Next, and it's going to ask me to confirm it. Touchpad, yes. It's processing. And you probably hear a little beep. There we go. So the appointment was just booked, and then it's going to go to the service provider to confirm the appointment, and you book and pay on our platform. So it was really simple for me to go out and get pricing information. And it could be anything as simple as an oil change all the way to timing belts, to engine replacements, to anything with getting your car repaired. As you can see, that will get our services now booked with a local provider. So the time it takes for you to go out and get pricing information from local shops, call around, book an appointment, was just basically done in a matter of seconds. We're nationwide, we're venture-backed, and we're happy to repair your car if you need it. I'll open it up to questions. So there's a couple of things going on. So the question is, are these pre-priced packages or the mechanics actually responding with quotes? So there are two things going on here. There's some of our shops have pre-priced services, so that's what you saw here, and they're really geared towards a specific year, make, and model of vehicle. Second thing that's going on is there's a team of ASC certified mechanics at Openbay that respond with quotes based on mechanics or shops parts margins, labor rates, and whether they're using OE parts or aftermarket parts. So we're generating quotes for the providers, and some of this is automated based on data that we have across the country.
How do you deal with unsophisticated users that have a problem with check engine light problem?
Yeah, so there's another option on here that I didn't go through due to time, but so you can actually submit a specific service request where you can describe a problem, like check engine lights is a perfect example. And in that case, a shop will probably ask you to bring your car for a diagnostic, and most of those requests are basically 1 hour's worth of labor.
You don't really solve it.
Well, yes and no. If you have a specific code, engine code, we could respond with potential solutions to that.
What happens with unsatisfactory service?
So the question is, what happens with unsatisfactory service? So one of the great benefits about Openbay is that we provide a guarantee that you're going to be satisfied with your service. So if there's an issue that you're having with the provider, or if the provider is having an issue with the consumer, we get in the middle and resolve the issue.
Have you thought of putting a feature in that helps people sniff out bogus at the far end of fraud? You know, people would say the X, Y, and Z needs repair, but it really doesn't. Or
the question is, have we been able to sniff out?
well, have you thought of adding a feature that would help consumers sniff out, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, bogus repair quotes? Like when you go to the dealer and they find like half a dozen things wrong and you didn't know, and you're like, is this really a problem?
Right. I mean, one of the nice things about the application is that you can bring it in. You can actually ask for a general diagnostic just to validate some of the claims that the dealership has said that you need. So and we get a lot of that. We get a lot of customers with coming from a dealership with a bunch of things that need to be done. So they'll ask for a general diagnostic just to validate or verify that those are indeed needed for that vehicle.
Have you thought of trying to bake in just like into the actual app, just like a rudimentary checklist for somebody that has very, very basic auto knowledge about it, that you can take it to the repair shop?
That's a great idea. I'll have to consider that.
Have you thought about, maybe I missed it, have you thought about doing like a bid ask, so, I put out my problem in bid and...
Well, I mean, that's exactly what's happening. We don't use the term bid, but it is everyone knows, every provider on our platform that participates knows it's a competitive marketplace, so they're not going to overprice a service because they won't ever get a deal. So in a sense, consumers have the ability to select based on their needs. If the shop is within a few miles of their home and the price is reasonable, they'll probably select that shop. But if somebody's really priced out of the market, they're never going to get
I guess I was
selected.
thinking more like a yield management algorithm sort of thing, where people where providers could say, I'm slow today. I'll.
Yes, so the question is about capacity. If shops are slow, we do get that. A lot of shops are slow on the weekends. What they'll do is when they respond with quotes, some of their prices will be low to get customers into the garage.
What are your thoughts on integrating with newer cars that have connected cars?
Yeah, one of the things we didn't talk about is a great question on connected cars. We do support connected cars. We have a relationship with Allstate, so we have partnerships with Allstate, Liberty Mutual, soon State Farm, Answer Financial, and a lot of these insurance companies use connected cars. And our platform actually supports connected car technology. So when the check engine light comes on, the diagnostic trouble code's triggered. We get those codes, and those codes are being transmitted to the shops. Yes.
How expensive is the review in the system? Like, what about people buy stuff, what time we buy and we review? And I suppose it's how trustworthy are also review in the system, and how they ensure those review are authentic?
The reviews on your question about the reviews on a site. So the only way a person can write a review on a site is when they got the car repaired. So there's no gaming in the system.
So when the mechanic hires somebody to try a service and then give them a good review?
I'm sorry.
Any way of dealing with that?
The question is, can a service provider get their car serviced on our platform and then write their own review? I mean, they possibly could. I can't prevent that from happening.
The payment through your software.
Yeah, also our business model is all payments processed on our platform. We take a fee on the transaction, so even if the invoice comes in a certain level and goes up, our fee is based on the price of the end invoice. And then payment is processed on the back end, and then we ACH the payment to the provider or send them a check if that's not set up with a bank account.
So it seemed just from looking at it that you had a bunch of providers, pretty comprehensive list for this area. So are you developing relationships, with each individual provider? Do they sign up with you? Like, how do you add to this one?
It's a great question. We focused on that 17 target markets when we first started the company, and these are all the major metros across the United States, and then we kept building out from there. So if you're in an area, so we get service providers signing up on our platform every single day, and whenever we sign up a provider, that area goes hot. So which means that if you send it, if a consumer comes into our platform and submits a service request, we'll accept it because we have a provider in that area, and those are all clustered together. So we're constantly building out our density coverage. We're in about 42 states right now, but density coverage varies by metro.
Last question, please.
If you have both the bid price and the final price, could you be showing consumers the average delta for each provider? In other words, they can see who tends to jack it up 20%, who tends to come in close to what they budgeted.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you?
In other words, as a way to detect who's the more trustworthy mechanic. If someone consistently charges 20% more than they estimated, if you have both the before and after.
Well, so the question is, can we look at price ranges, whether providers have a history of jacking up pricing information? Is that your question?
Yeah.
So we don't show historical information around what the trend is in terms of whether prices started out at one point and went up to another. But historically on our platform, what we're seeing is that consumers come in at one price, and there might be other issues with the vehicle that the shops will point out, and price does go up. But they're binding prices, so if that's the price that you agree to, then that's the settled price on the platform.
Thanks.
Thanks.